You saw that right. Boxfish is my favorite Pokemon, which is why I wanted to use it. Now, Boxfish is usable in the PU tier, but in order to make it interesting, I decided to try and use it in good old audio, and see how far I can get away with it. In order to use a Pokemon, I first need to find what team would make sense for it. With Boxfish being a water type, I decided the rain team would make the best fit. Now I needed to decide on the set itself. Initially I went with a setup set, but after mediocre results on the ladder, I switched to a choice scarf set to compensate for Blacks's middle and speed. Blacksys has two good abilities, Strong Jaw and a signature ability, Dazzling, which blocks priority. I chose to go with the latter because priority is one of the most common ways to deal with range sweepers. With Praxis figured out, I needed to finish the rest of the team. Since I decided on a rain team, Pelipper was a given. I hate losing to stall, so I decided to add a Manafi with Mystic Water to let it break even Blissey. Next I needed a ground type, since all my monsters so far are weak to electric. I know Dread seemed like a good pick, which is good matchup in Raging Bolt and Zapdos, the most common electric types. The team so far struggles with water types, so added Raging Bolt, as it has a good type matchups into water and takes advantage of the rain with Weather Ball. Lastly, I wanted a Ghost of this and another fast one. Overquill seemed like an obvious choice with its swift swim ability and dark typing. Now I'm gonna show off one more game which I'm gonna commentate. I lead Iron Threads expecting a Deoxys lead, and I knock off in case it is superpower. They send out great tasks, so I go into Pelipper and set up my rain. They decide to trade Great Task for Rocks, which is great news for Raging Bolt in the back. They send out Volcanion, so we have to take a Steam Eruption, so I U-turn to Threads to get off a spin. Next, I make a mistake. Instead of going into Raging Bolt to prevent Volcanion, I go into Manafi, which I might need later to check Valiant and Dragonite. I set up a Tail Glow while avoiding Sludge Bomb poisons thanks to a Recreation clearance status in the rain. Manafi ends up taking a lot of damage, but he does take out Volcanion at the end. Manafi being at +3 forces the opponent to go into King Gambit. I switch out Bolt, predicting a Sucker Punch, and then Thunderbolt the King Gambit for massive damage. After Bolt takes out King Gambit, they go into a suspiciously anchor-shaped Dragonite, which in turn I predict and go Manafi. They set up a Dragon Dance, and then finally Praxis hits the field, and shows us why he's Piyumon by missing out the KO. Praxis finally gets the KO, leaving only Valiant left. The opponent ends up making an unbelievably bad click, letting Praxis clean up the game. I ended up getting to top 50 on the ladder with this thing, which was my goal at the beginning of the challenge. So, what have we learned? Maybe Praxis isn't a perfect meta call, but I can say it's pretty solid, which surprised me. With that said, the next time I use Praxis is definitely in PU.